Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go. Yeah, let it go, yeah. Let it go. Help me let it go. Master Jesus, let it go. Yeah, help me let it go. Go, 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 go. Go, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give it all to Jesus. Let him take control. Just sit and worship. I know it hurts you, and I know it's painful. No way to wait, so you have to let it go. Your best friend is not your secret enemies. Let it go. Your wife is getting married to another man. Your husband are falling in love with another woman. Don't let it bother you. I say let it go. If someone overlook you because you live in zero, if they insult you because you don't have nobody, if they say you will continue to be a zogo, if they say you will continue to be a prostitute, if they say you will continue to be a beggar, you will not marry, you will not bear your own children. If they say your knee is for a borrow, Sunday go to meeting, mommy can say no, Johnny Ginger. Just let it go. Jesus will change your story. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Oh, let it go. Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go, man.
Welcome our viewers. What a beautiful Wednesday evening here. I'm Alfonso and so to the Liberia-Tv radio. Try to dress like an old guy here. How does it look? Somebody tell me, give me a thumbs up. Welcome. This is Liberia-Tv radio.
Hello. Nobody do it like you do it. You a true God. Yes. You always hear me when I say my prayer with few words. But just say, and they plenty in.
This is the sound of Jimamant Walker, a gospel artist based in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia, to voice hovering and flying high here on LPR.
But there is power in your brother while I'm giving praises. Yes. I got a dance that dividends. They think I'm getting crazy. But love is how you make it, brother. May not be easy. Every time I sin, I'm on my knees, begging God for mercy. Thank you for your God.
Let us go, let us go, let us go, let us go. How many of us can let it go? This song is just a real sounding to resounding message. The team of analysts, political contributors of the Liberia-Tv radio will soon scramble to right here to right now.
When you take it from the grass, we can take it from the rock and roll. Yeah.
Drummonds in Africa, Liberia, and the rest of the world is just can't stop, even right here before our own feet. It's, remember what happened January 6th on Capitol Hill?
Let it go, let it go.
We gotta let it go, but that justice must be served. People who tend to abuse and hold other people against their will, they must be held responsible. So we will let go, but they must answer some tough questions.
Lord help them. That's
oh, Lord help them, help us.
Say, let it go. The barrenness, pack your load and go.
Oh man, how many of them waiting to pack their load and go? We're gonna get this program right on the way. By the way, we want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe, Africa to right here, US, and the rest of the world. Good evening to good morning to good afternoon, depending on your locations. You are on the official news outlet of the Liberia-Tv radio, Lpr-Tv, where mature conversations, keeping it proportional, giving everybody fair treatment to make their voices heard. You can speak, you can tweet, But remember, we also hold you accountable equally ourselves what is coming out of our mouth. It does have the propensity to elevate and degenerate.
Someone here for you before. Yeah. They kill your mother and they kill your father.
Let's do a favor by hitting our share button to invite someone to find relative and tell them that LPR is on.
Fatherless. Let it go. Let it go. Mama, let it go. Yeah. Papa, let it go. It is people, let it go. You borrow someone your money. Oh, mama, they don't want to pay. You are become a boo-boo man. Your best friend is now your secret enemies. Your money law don't even want to see you.
Was it a true confection? These and many more going to be our talking point. How that news was broke. Hopefully, someone special might hopefully want the internet do us a favor here. Will be joining us from Dakar, Senegal. Hopefully it works in our favor. Nothing is guaranteed with today's technology. And I want to welcome all our viewers and listeners, wherever you are. Thank you for sharing your evening. Oh, let me see here. Welcoming our own comrade, VV Illustration. That's the Deputy Minister of Republic of Liberia, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, comrade family. Good evening and welcome on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio.
So let it go. It is painful, let it go. Oh yeah, mama, let it go. Let Jesus take. Let it go. Let it go.
Okay, let it go. So we want to welcome you. Good evening, good afternoon. This is the Liberia Public Radio. I'm Afonso Zayn. So right here, as usual, to your anchored and presenter in today's editions of the Forum. The Forum is an informative news magazine. Comes your way right here on LPR, taking on critical issue with our contributors and analysts shortly to be joining us. A lot is unfolding. The political drama, true confection, how it happens, how many times will we go about doing this? The tones of political correctness is always on the rise in Liberia. As usual, let's take a tour on some of the news making headlines across the globe. According to Al Jazeera, Taliban claims capturing key Afghan borders across with Pakistan. This is getting ugly. More than 1,700 arrested overt violence in South Africa. Remember Jacob Zuma, the former president, he broke the law, so he has to pay the price. Violence is raging. Risk of catastrophe. Catastrophes coronavirus surge in Middle East, according to the World Health WHO is reporting. These and many more are going to be our discussion here. And very shortly, my team of analysts, they're going to be joining us here. And we're going to have some critical, well-sounding conversation. Now, let us make it crystal clear here. We always have this reminder. LPR is not an amusement center. It's not an entertainment center. This is where we discuss national issue, making it proportionate, giving everybody the opportunity, but without letting them to slide. Because these politicians and their supporters, especially the Liberian type, our type, mine type, a lot of genuine deceptions and the inability for them to even apologize. You have to take them to the slaughterhouse before they do. Well, we're going to have that conversation. But how this came about all over. Yes, Darius Dillon, the Moserado County Senator Darius Dillon, made a true confessions after being very vehement in his statement. And we decided to make a follow-up. I recently remember the guy who broke the news from Front Page Africa, Bureau Chief News Desk, Lyndon Dodd, who I hosted here, and he was very much defended in his position that they all no apologies and they stand by their statement. Only to know yesterday, sister network analysts, a strong stalwarts of sedition, got under the skin of Senator Darius DeLong. And apparently that whole program was, for the few minutes, it was taken charge by Keith Hassan, who is strategically positioned and were asking genuine questions. But the senator was not coming forward answering that question. That gives Keith Hassan the answer. And my talking point I want to take away because the facilitator in such a consequential and tough program, you don't start it, because what he did, it was the first opening that put Keith Hassan and other people in a very suitable position, because the appearance of Senator Darius DeLong itself, one could make an educated guess. It was very uncomfortable. And I've said that over and over to our politicians, they need consulting, they need good public relation people to prepare them. It was all about him, not any other person. So his advisors or public relation team, they could have done to better, as they knew it was going to come. He knew he was going somewhere. The guy who they called Kev Hassan, he was going to go into the dent of Kev Hassan, and he managed to just take over that. Okay, my team of analysts, they are here. I'm going to be bringing them in, or we're going to bring in that little clip, and they're going to get their take. Let me just bring them in, and we're going to start from where we came from with the front page and bring it into yesterday and put all into context. And you, me, us, we're going to have a discussion. Welcome. This is Liberia Public Radio. Standing by near the capital of Washington, D.C. is Lpr senior analyst, contributor. He's the CEO of 2 major schools in Liberia. He supports the agenda of the CDC-led government. Professor Asese Labo Zawlo is joining me. On the other side, far right, Amos George is based in Atlanta, Georgia. He's standing by. As soon as you get that there, we're going to be bringing here as well, and we're going to be having this conversation. So let's see here. Professor Tai, good evening.
Good evening, Afonso. How you doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. All is well.
Okay. Well, he's the only person. I'm waiting to see what are the Liberals are going to show out here. The Liberals are providing some free counsel here. It appears that resonated as well. But he's coming. He said he's coming strong. He's going to get at you. Behind people when you come to me. I told you I'm going to let the professor know. So when you call, you said when you be mad.
So why is he coming? Why is he going to come after me all now? What is that?
I don't know. Let's
all right.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. You know, the media loves what makes news. That's what we go by. You know, when Trump sent this sort of ridiculous tweet, that you see all the news outlets burst into flame. But let's see here. I want you to listen to this. This was that was on the 10th of July when I hosted front page News Bureau Dex Leonard Dodut regarding this Darius DeLong saga here, and let's listen to what he was telling us on LPR.
We have anything against him, but to remind him that these are the things that you have criticized in the past. Why are you now also following suit?
So, in other words, what I try to sense out here, he dug his own political grave.
I wouldn't put it that way. He set a bar. He set a standard that has been admired by, Liberians. Senator DeLong won a senatorial election, massively. He won it overwhelmingly. I mean, it was a landslide victory. And that's because he set some principles that majority of Liberians, more than 75% of those residing in Monserrado County believe in, and believe that this is what we need. This is the kind of leadership that we need. So we just try to remind him that Senator DeLong, the 75% of those in Monserrado County, knowing fully well that Monserrado County has the highest population in the entire Liberia, thought that you wouldn't be doing these things. This is what you are doing, to their disappointment.
Okay, I know in this business, we keep news proportional, giving everybody the opportunity to get the ad version before publication comes out. That, of course, can question, of FPA in reporting that. In the interest of fairness, and those who might not even know the in-depth of this story, after you saw that picture, did you reach out to Senator Dillon?
All right, so this is what happened, Alfonso. And let's be fair. When we saw that picture of Senator Dillon in the business cabin, we decided to allow the picture to speak 1,000 words like he usually does. So honestly, we didn't reach out to Senator Dillon before the first publication that Senator Dillon wrote business class. So we just wrote a story because we saw him in a business class, announcing his arrival in the United
States. Saw him in the business class, and you know the news outlet, they are pocket. They always like to go to the bottom line to find out what it is. Especially, you know, he has been very critical, and it's good to be critical, and this is why you have to be careful. So from that, the front page, I would like to get that information. But let's see what happened yesterday, courtesy of a Spunt Network. Let's see here. Hopefully, we can bring that. Let the people see it. What man Amos George is getting ready. I'm going to be breaking him. But let's see. This is what happened yesterday on front page news outlet.
And I'm going to own out of what I put myself in. I think it was uncomfortable as you have been there enough to speak the truth that people know me by, know me for, like me for, love me for, and follow me about. My trip was not funded by public money. It was not by the government money. It was on the invitation of Friends of Dillon, especially the Minnesota chapter. And my ticket was purchased. And true, very true. In Accra, I did a discounted business class ticket. And it's called Z class. Z class maybe is way cheaper than the original business class cost. And I did that. Taking into consideration the sensitivity of our people, when this thing broke up, I thought to make it cover up. I realized it was wrong. I should not have done so. I should have owned up to it. It's not my first time flying business class, and as senator, flying on my own money on my invitations, purchasing my ticket. I should not have had anything, and so I regret it. I brought it upon myself. I do not fault corporate Africa or anybody else, and I think we shouldn't do it again.
All right, Delon, that's also, you know what? I'm pausing for a minute because I want Liberians and those supporters of yours to hear you man up to say, you know what? I apologize, or whatever way we may term this to be. But let me ask you my second question. Who bought you the ticket, or who bought the zip class? Who bought your original ticket? Was everything on Friends of Dillon?
Friends of Dillon facilitated my travel to America, and I upgraded my ticket in Accra.
You personally upgraded your ticket?
I upgraded my ticket in Accra.
Okay.
And those who are hurt by my initial screening of this story, I apologize to them, especially our support base. Those who were criticized will always criticize. We can understand that. They look for us for integrity as more compass in.
Let me put it right there here, guys. Let's get the conversation going. We're proud to get a little bit set up here. Those who were criticized or will criticize, the ticket was bought by Friends of Dillon. Now they are giving letters unfolding from the supporters of the ruling establishment. When you go on their pages, their talking point, they are beating him up. They are doing everything possible. I brought it upon myself. So meaning, from what I understand, it is his own creation. It is his own makeup that catch up with him. So, Professor, let me start with you. Do you accept your apology?
Well, look. Here's the thing. I think I've always stated that our jurisprudence system allows for personal redemption. So when people make mistake, if they own up to those mistakes, we can be forgiven and given an opportunity to at least go and sin no more, so to speak. But
What more?
yeah, well, hopefully. But the apology has to be sincere. I didn't find Senator Dillon to be contrite. I didn't see any remorse in his statement. He displayed no compunction for his insensitive behavior. And more than that, he lied. And there are inconsistencies in his story. If you listen further down in the to the clip, if you listen further down to the Spoon TV interview, he vacillated between I bought my ticket and the Prince of Dillon bought my ticket. So there are a lot of things that need to be ironed out. There are a lot of truth that must be told.
They are still unknown that he needs to come out if at all he's authentic in his perfection, correct?
Yeah, and just be blunt and accept that he lied and be contrite so that people can forgive. We all do make mistakes, and I'll be one of the first person who will to say, look, let's forgive him. But he hasn't demonstrated yet to me that he's remorseful. He still thinks that he's still.
Not to interrupt you, we have come to the zenith of this whole conversation.
Mhm.
The most liberal on this network, also members of the opposition Liberty Party on quote unquote US base. That's the hockey always attached. Which an SF is another justification to people always that try to do wrong thing to cover up. Samson Broku Branto is based in Saxton, Sacramento. Let me just bring him in here. Cleveland, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. So. But I'm not too sure if your mic is audible or is my end. I'm not too sure.
You see, this guy, everybody would be having our conversation here.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Your microphone was a little bit low, Alfonso.
Okay, so is it okay now?
Yeah, I think
yes, much better.
A little better. Yeah.
All right. He always tried to pick at me. He looked like somebody who is bereaved. No, not really bereaved, but I don't know. We were here for him. Okay, the liberal. Good evening, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. So.
Okay.
As usual, I'm here to be the counterweight of all you three, and I'm wondering where is Weeder? Weeder, the liberal is here, so Weeder is not here tonight, huh? Okay, you guys gonna be dropping like fly one by one when the liberal shows up.
Weeder is active online, so he's posting, he's commenting. So
Guys, let's get it going. Mr. George.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Welcome. You had a chance to see the interview yesterday on Spoon TV.
Yeah, portion of it. I did watch portion of it.
Okay, I brought it upon myself. Those were words of Senator Abraham Downs Dillon.
Good evening, Mr. Toe. Good evening, Professor Zawu. How you doing? Mr. So the last time I said that Dillon was not forthcoming. And as he said, he brought this on himself. I listened to her apology yesterday, which I will not want to say much about. But what I can say is
why you don't want us to know?
Yeah, here's the thing here. I knew from the onset that Dillon was not forthcoming. But supporter of Dillon said that he hasn't done anything wrong, so why must he apologize? And this is why I continue to tell these supporters, if one of your leaders does wrong, call him out and say, look, what you did was not right. But they all go back to their corners and say they put in a wall of defense, and which it will not hold. So what all they were talking, Dillon yesterday came finally to say, hey, I brought this, I must apologize, and I'm sorry for what happened. So now all those people not being left alone to stand. But here's the thing I'm talking about. I don't want to question why his apology was. The thing is clear. Once the people who alleges that he bought a ticket for him, nobody had come out to challenge him. So if he said they bought a ticket for him, he went to Ghana, he upgraded, he paid his ticket. Hey, the bottom line, Dylan was not honest in his dealing. That's the bottom line. He was not honest. And he had now come out to say, okay, I take full responsibility. I'm sorry, I let my supporters down. Hey, but I just want to say this in this case. I said, Senator Dylan and all politicians, those little things is the one that can disgrace you, that can bring you down. So because when you start, you kind of live thing, being deceptive at this one more thing, then what will happen to the big thing? What will happen to the big thing? And this moment, then people start creating doubts about your sincerity, how you do business. So politicians must be careful, and especially in this DNA in the 21st century, they have to be careful because you're doing something and you think that people are not looking. People are looking, and especially I always say this: Dylan raised the bar very high.
For you?
No, hey, the 200,000 people voted for the man.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean, I don't know, he raised the bar for you. That's a question to you.
So now when you raise that to that level, you gotta live up to it. Because every move you make, every step you take, people are watching you. Because you have been preaching that you are there to correct the mistakes. So people are looking up to you. And that's one of the things I saw yesterday. But Dylan, I said it from the beginning. Now I got serious reservation about Dylan honesty. I can tell people. I got to watch him now to see what coming next. And the other thing I saw there was with Kevin Hassan, he and Dylan. And I said it yesterday. It would not be right for any guest to come to the program live, especially a government official, senator or minister, to call that he lying. I don't think that is appropriate. Or anything. You're not supposed to do it. It's not being decent. You can use other words to challenge him, but you tell him upright that the senator is lying. Now the question here, people praised Hassan yesterday, but if that same thing is turned on to Samuel 12, Nathaniel Mangale, will they complain?
No.
Will they complain?
No.
They will surely complain. Don't say no, Professor. They will complain. They will say the man is something the minister.
That's the question. What for us to answer, right? And we answer. No.
I'm just saying. Yeah, you said no, but I'm saying it's not true because
how are we going to be answering for all the people?
Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I know, and this is what I'm saying. Yeah, you can.
So your mic is really killing you.
Who my mic?
Why you say my mic?
Mr. So.
Let me see here. Let me.
Yeah,
now you're talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm saying,
okay,
I will not allow the Solicitor General has come on the program many times, and some of the things has said, yes, we all know it's not factual.
Okay.
But I will not call the Solicitor General on the platform live that he lied. That is not right. And if we say that we want to build a society where people will respect other people, all these things must be taken into account. Mm-hmm. But when Mr. Hassan is doing the Dylan, the citizens are laughing. Tomorrow, when someone is doing another minister, then they say this is not right. And that is the problem that I'm having with these people.
That's what I'm facilitating here. We're going to do it in a peaceful order, and everybody's going to have their time. I don't usually put people comments out, but we have said here consistently, all of us should be held accountable for whatever we say, whatever we do, whatever we write. Am I properly audible, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So, because I'm not saying the light popping up here, that's why. But folks, for those of you, especially if you are getting me in, please let me know. Okay, I'm going to come to that here, but this is what Joseph Bendy is writing. Our people are dying of COVID and hunger. Then you guys are here discussing irrelevant issue like Dylan spending his own finance, not government, to rob business class.
But
I feel bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for you. And I'm going to address you as it is because we don't accept certain things here. If you would come here to tell us that we are having an irrelevant discussion, then more or less you are more ridiculous to listen to something that is irrelevant. This is the hypocrisy that in the Liberians. That's how they support government, they support opposition, but they are unable to even tell and look in the eyes of their own when he or she does it wrong. You sound so ridiculous to say, even assuming that he spent his own money. He is a senator. He's not senator for you. He's a senator of the Republic of Liberia. And because of their carelessness, because of their attitude, because of their disingenuous to the country, they recently divided 15,000 K among themselves. These are some of the things. That's how they start, and they become a giant alligator. I just want to put it out there to see it. So if you're wearing diaper, we don't wear diaper here. We discussing issue. His judgment as a leader, it does have an impact on our country. And that's what we are talking here. It doesn't matter who it is. So for you to tell us that we are discussing something irrelevant, that you don't even know where you're coming from and where you are going. Let me just put it out here. So based on that, I'm going to be breaking the liberal. Us for me, I don't hold back. It can be who. Let me see here. I want to see where Pa George you're talking about.
In that budget, you knew that prior to you receiving it.
If you're a homeowner in Massachusetts and you're still paying for electricity, then you could be missing out on free government assistance to go solar. Most people don't know this, but in 2005...
Can you tell the Liberian people that you knew that about the $15,000 and let's move forward? Can you say that to the Liberian people today? Or you want to withhold that story until Front Page Africa says something again? Can you
confess to Spoon Talk and the public that you lied that they were negotiating for $2 million?
Okay,
I'm responding to you. Can you confess that you lied? And you said you have proof that any international would never
so it's bad.
Can you confess to that lie?
Senator Dillon, you knew there was a 15,000.
I mean, the echo is bad.
Brother Hassan, as much as we try to be transparent, the senator is willing to answer your question.
Is that much better?
If you answer his question. I know you are asking the question. But let's be fair. And people are going to beat on me for this as well. I will go back to you and give you the chance to ask your question. So can we just have some agreement? If we hold Senator Dillon on the 15,000, if we hold Senator Dillon on the plane ticket, we should hold ourselves as well. Just a little advice, and I'll bring you in for us to move on, please.
I am not on the hot seat. I am not the one going to answer the question. If Senator Dillon wants to ask me a question, he needs to call me on his show. Then we will talk about it. But we're on Spoon. He's the one.
Okay, he needs to call me on his show. I saw that yesterday, and it was quite fascinating because what I see and Liberia are going to be bringing here. Apparently, one good thing you did, apparently, just was out there before yesterday, you provided some sort of counsel to Senator Darius Dillon. Apparently, he was listening, or one of his folks were listening, and that was the introductory part. What he didn't do, the temperament was in there, and Cliff Hassan managed to pull him in his chair like Hillary Clinton getting on a Donald Trump. You remember that interview? It's a puppet. I said, no, I'm not puppet. You are puppet. That's what Kev Hassan did yesterday, and that was a valid question. Question he was asking. The Liberal, let me just bring you.
So
let me bring you there. Let me bring you in. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. George, Professor. Good evening to all of you. Now let's take this thing a little bit serious here. I know we've been serious ever since we started, but one of the things I want to say here right now is, first of all, let me talk about United States politics. You heard the media, CNN and Fox News, they're blaming each other of the destruction of the political destruction that is happening within the overall politics in America. It's the same thing here within Liberian society. Those of us that have the platform, people are listening to us. They tune in not because they don't have something to do, but because they won't have interest in what we have to say. And first of all, when we come out here, except for me, but many of you that come out here are all college graduate, master's degree. You have the command of the English language. Yes, still, we see, and in fact, my own professor here used the same language here. There are words you can use that means the same, but at least it presents itself as an intellect of speaking with the ability for people to understand without being offensive. And this was not something that was happening yesterday on Spoon TV. I'm disappointed in Spoon TV. And then, of course, they can say, well, you're the Liberty Party member. But I'm not speaking because I'm a Liberty Party member. These are people that have the ability to turn Liberia to the area where they all want us to go, which is to be civilized. And if you're going to have some, and the CEO of Spoon, and even Ben Senvi, who himself has even tried to be senator, they're still young. And even the professor is very young. These and you, Mr. So, and Mr. George, any of you can go and be in the office of senator or whatever tomorrow. Do you want us to respect you when you get to the office, or do you want to start to respect the office as it is? So the Spoon TV and his people, the behavior yesterday and the behavior towards Calabar is ridiculous. These are people that are educated. The Spoon TV, all of them, if not more than one or two masters, they have the English language at their disposal. Why use the word lie? Why can't it be deceitful? That's more like somebody who is ready to have conversation. Why can't it be, if you want to be ridiculous, why can't it be dishonest? At least people can deal with that a little bit. Then to stand there and say the man lied. Has he been found guilty or lied based on your perception? Which in all is yours. It's not nobody else. That's what you believe. That's fine. But polish the language so that it will be acceptable to the audience. You have over 3,000 people that were listening yesterday. Many of them were not sedition. Many of those people that were listening gravitated towards Spoon because they believe Spoon will offer some sort of an intellectual conversation. But what did they do? They came out yesterday. The only thing that they used was Marcos. So what is the difference that the Spoon TV pretending not to be something that is not? And therefore, I will say here tonight that so far, Liberian Public Radio, not because I'm a member of Liberian Public Radio family, but when we bring guests out here, this is the first thing we announce. You come over here, watch your language. The language you're going to say, if they are not appropriate, we will shut you off. Because these people that are coming, they accept your invitation to have a conversation, to have not to be abused, but to have a dialogue so that you will be able to understand what your position is, and then they will also be able to understand what your position is. But to have somebody insulting, and Ben Senvi sit there and allows Ski Absent to continue to insult until Dr. P. Bale brought it up. And then Spoon, CEO himself, he said, no, we can't interrupt him because other people have come here and we've done the same thing. This is what's going to continue to bring Liberian politics to the low level, to the gutter. And Mr. Spoon, the CEO, and all of those intellectual, smart, master degree, and hopefully will be gravitating toward politics or something in Liberia. You will want people to treat you like that? This was unfair and it's unacceptable. Now, let me go on to Mr.
Professor,
hold on, Mr. So. Let me
wait. Why were you telling me to hold on?
Mr. So, because the liberal is speaking. Why were you not allow the liberal to speak?
No, you're talking, the professor is about to talk. I said, Professor, hold on. I am the anchor. You are a contributor. This is not your show. So you are just talking about Spoon. That's how you people can overtake people and overthrow in Africa.
Perhaps if you deserve to be overthrown, we will take you down. There's no question. Me and the Liberty Party will take you down and make this show to a Liberty Party. But let me finish on a very serious note.
That's a bad phrase.
On the aspect of Senator Dillon yesterday, I'm so happy sometimes when you say something and people come to you and they make it interesting. A day or so ago, I spent an hour and a half asking Senator Dillon to take full responsibility. And he has done that. So anybody who come and say his apology is not sincere, you're joking. You're not sincere either. As long a man, it takes character to say, I take full responsibility. Over 3,000 people that were watching. And he came. He didn't beat around the bush. He said, I take full responsibility. And in fact, he went further by injecting his mother into the conversation. After many of you, Seditian, will have some sort of a feeling, human feeling, to say yes. If the man was like, why would he put a man in it? Many of you will still say, well, somehow, carry your wealth somehow to CDC headquarters, because we're done with that. That subject is done. Senator Dillon is still the light. He will shine and will shine on you guys. How shameful are you guys? What kinds of hypocrisy land you CDC? You people have Abu Kamar. You have Abu Kamar, and you're going to come out here and say the man was not sincere? You have Dr. Weah with all the 500 houses, 10,000 houses with no comment, and you're going to say he's not sincere? Senator Dillon, I want to thank you, and I want to thank you for respecting the Liberian people. You continue to be the light. Don't listen to them. Let them cry all they want to cry. That's what they've been doing for the last 12 years. They cry babies, they're still there. And the only thing they don't do now is to carry casket around, but they're still crying.
All right. There was no interruption. I hope nothing going to go on your skin. But George, I'm going to come to you. But let me just bring in Professor Zawlo. Professor, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are these surprise comments from the people?
No, look, not surprised. I think the Liberal Progressive definitely we expected him to come up here and defend Senator Dillon, and I think he spoke his mind. I don't think the Liberal Progressive was dishonest. I think what he stated here is what he believed strongly. I have some concerns there because you see, look, you have asked us to elevate the level of the discourse. You are concerned about semantics and the choice of words to describe behavior. From my comprehension and understanding, had Keith Hassan said that you are a liar, there will be an attack on the person. He was commenting on the behavior. When you provide information that is untruth, it is a lie. And whether you say you provided falsehood, or you provide alternative facts, or whatever way you want to call it, logically different information, the bottom line, a lie is a lie. Now, you come again, Mr. Toh, you claim that people were not respectful. But then again, if you listen to just what you said here, you unleashed a barrage of words that others will find condescending and disrespectful. All right, listen to some of the things you talk about, joking. People come up and make a statement, a thoughtful position, and you dismiss their position as being joking. So let's be very careful, as we make these accusations, because when people feel strongly about something, just as you felt strongly about the way you felt Senator Dillon was treated, you've injected some adjectives that may appear to be unpleasant to certain individuals. And I think that's exactly what Keith Hassan was doing. But besides, if Mr. So was to play the interaction between Keith Hassan and Senator Dillon, you will see that Senator Dillon referred repeatedly, accused Keith of lying. So I think it was mutual. If you expect to be respected, you too must respect. If using the phrase or the terminology "lie" wasn't appropriate for Keith to use, then equally so, it should not have been appropriate for Senator Dillon to do. So let's be very careful with those things. But yes, what I think when we are discussing these serious national issues, the intonation, the emphasis, the choice of words will be based on how people see issues. And sometimes people will go to the extreme to use very, very strong characterization of the behavior. And when the person is condemning the behavior and not the person, when the adjective is directed at the behavior and not the person, I think that person is not misplaced. That is appropriate. There's a problem.
Professor, I don't mean to interrupt. This is unbelievable. You're talking about a person which is character.
Yeah. And
you're saying that because they're not attacking the person in a way, but yet still they're attacking the behavior, which also come out of the character. And if you're attacking the behavior, are you saying you want to separate the character from that of the behavior? Is that what you want to tell me?
Mr. Toll, I will tell you this. If you do, and I'm sure you'll be able to, I'm sure you've done it. When you in these kind of circumstances, in these situations, when you are criticizing the action, it is generally accepted. But when you're attacking the person, say for example, if you call someone a liar, that's a problem. That's unacceptable in most kinds of discourses like this.
Let me come here.
Describe the person's action to be a lie. So you are criticizing the action and not the person.
You know,
that's how it is. Professor Dawulu.
Yeah.
The clip that Mr. Soul played.
Yeah.
There's another clip.
Yeah.
There's another clip. Did you watch that clip again?
Saying what?
No, I just asked you. Did you watch it?
I don't know. I watched the entire show.
If we need to make adjustment with this.
Where Keith Hassan, because it was not about the 15,000. It was about the ticket when Keith Hassan was telling Delon that you lie. Can you come and say you lie?
Yeah.
Did you watch that part?
Yeah, but that's fine. You lied. Can you come up and say you lied? He's criticizing the action and not the person.
My point. Yeah, my point.
Wow, what he's splitting. I love the CDC professor. He's splitting here tonight. Because sooner or later, he himself will soon be set in a higher position. So he wants to make sure that when you come at him, you know exactly what to do. I respect that. Split the hair. We can deal with it.
Go ahead, Pa George.
Yes, my take on this issue. And Professor, I will know it well.
Yeah.
If we talk about people using words on different network on government officials and asking questions at the feed. But I think if we want to set a standard, then of course, those who are in authority and ordinary people will have to set a standard and live by the example.
Yeah.
That I think we should be talking about, because every day we frown on other representatives using profanities, words that we think should not be used on each other.
George, for example, who have a condemn on the show.
They go about doing it, but if at all we cannot call our people to say, hey, take a step back. I understand you want the truth, but remember, this person doesn't have to say yes or no to you, but your question will lead to something that people say, okay, yes, they can deduce that. Okay, yes, we know that he did it, but he did not want to come out to admit it. But from the way he answered the question, we assume he did it.
Okay, yeah, but let me
what you saying?
Mr. So, I beg, let me come in, because I got 2 points I wanted to make. I don't want to forget. I'm an old man. I'm getting old every day. The first thing is that, look, what is Keith Hassan's position on the show? His position is to get under the skin of individual he finds not to be accepting of his position, right? So when you go there, you got to prepare yourself for him. I come on the show, there are people who don't like my position on the CDC. They attack me. They say everything about me. I have to toughen up and respond in the appropriate way. Respect them. But here's one of the things I wanted to share. You see, for me, when I say things, I want to back it with research. Mr. Toole, look, there is a scholar. She's called Brene Brown. She wrote a book, and it's called Dare to Lead. Dare to Lead. Yesterday, I was going over her book, and they talk about one incident between her daughter and the daughter's teacher. The daughter made a mess in class. And so the teacher said this to the girl: "You are messy." The little girl responded, "I have made a mess, but I am not messy. And when you talk about conversations and interactions like this, that's what the expert will tell you. You can criticize the action and the behavior and not characterize the person by that action. So you can say he lied, but not refer to him as liar. And there's sufficient evidence and research to document that that's the acceptable way to have these kind of exchanges. So it's not me making it up. I'm not spinning here. I'm speaking based on the research and based on what is acceptable as conversations at this level.
Yeah, but
let me
Mr. So, hold on 1 minute, but Judge. Mr. So, please 1 minute. Please 1 minute, Mr. So. Professor, thank you.
I'm not a statue here. I brought you guys. Also, I'm not going to be holding on one minute.
No, Mr. So, please, please, let me make my point, please. And you, this is your show. This is your show. You know, this. I want to talk, so I got to praise you. So if I don't want to talk, I will tell you things.
I don't like your deceitful presses.
Okay. But if I'm deceitful, I won't tell you. But anyway, let me make my point. Professor, you know, when you do that, sometimes it gets to me because you are not one of those that were just born in Monrovia, grew up in Monrovia, and considered to be those days. And I'm not trying to put it into a section and stuff. A Congo ball, what have you. You're just like every one of us. We grew up in the countryside before migrating to the city. Now, Professor, if you're going to do these kinds of research,
you're wrong on that. You are wrong on that.
Let me.
Okay.
No, there are things you don't want.
Okay, so you were born in Monrovia, you grew up in Monrovia. That's fine. But I would still say you're not a Congo man. That I know. So whatever it is, that's the point.
Congo manner.
Yeah, Congo manner. Yeah. I never heard of Congo manner.
Congo manner.
Professor, you're killing me. I never heard of Congo manner before. I'm so far away.
Okay.
By the way, thanks for bringing. But here's my point. The point that I'm trying to make here, Professor, is if you do this research, which I know you have the ability to, because you're an educated person. So whenever these things come about conversation, I know you do a little bit here and there to get yourself prepared. That's what you do all the time anyway. But what I was a little bit taken aback on is this. If you're doing this research, I thought that perhaps you would try to connect it to the Liberian culture. And then when you come based on your research, which is international issue, but at least if you connect it to our culture, then it would be beneficial to all of us. What am I saying here? For example, in Liberia, I grew up in the barracks. So, hold on, Mr. So please, you see, that's one thing about you. When we're having this kind of conversation, you don't want people to talk.
No. Let me just tell you right now. I've been holding on. You're not going to explain. They're not fairy tale thing we on here. We have
Mr. So. No, I got to make my point. You heard the professor making his point. Why didn't you stop him? Now because the liberal is speaking, and the liberal is getting ready to take the counter away from both you, professor, and the center right. Now you want to shut me down. You want to manipulate the show tonight and try to shut me down. This is where you and I differ. Professor, let me finish my point. So I grew up in the barracks, and when we were growing up, even on Benson Street, people who sell books, because I was also there. When you're ready to have argument with somebody, if it's going to turn into fight, the first thing you do, I don't let you lie. You lie too much. That's an insult. And we all know that. We all know that. If you want to insult somebody in Liberia, you say the person can lie. He lies so much. That person, not only in our tradition, not only because the person is being dishonest, but that this person is no longer to be trusted in the community. So we know when these language come out in our community. And so this is what I'm speaking. Yeah, on an intellectual level, you can have a debate at Harvard University. Even the President Joe Biden just said, what's his name? Trump was lying. That's a different level of lying conversation than it is when it comes into our community. And you know that. So you're trying not to sugarcoat this. What they did yesterday was wrong. Don't back it.
All right. Yeah, what I would say. You guys, and you are one of those that are causing the problem in the country because you have the tendency to reconstruct, to remake things, call it as it is. These people, and I said it here before, I said here, and that's why people don't like the truth. You have grown a little crocodile and he has become an alligator. He started on the path by calling his colleagues, people that he's supposed to work with, to create a legacy within the house, to build a consensus. He started calling them spineless. And you are one of those, you came on this network here, lie. And I said, hey, that's not the way to go. So what he did, he dug his own hole. So right now, when you start calling your folks, people that you're supposed to work with, to do something for the country, you start calling them spineless, where is the collaboration you think is going to come from? But I can tell you, Trump here, Trump created a big lie, and we all saying here, it's lie. Darius Dillon, Senator Dillon, brought it upon himself, and that's why he said what he did. It's a lie. I don't know how you want to design it, what sort of engineer tactics you want to use it. It's a lie. He went as far to attack the newspaper as if he has something on the contrary. And that's why Kev was holding him on. Now, I didn't like the sighting, how it was done. If I were doing that interview, first of all, the anger should have deployed other strategies. It became such a kind of consequential conversation. You don't make them first. You don't put them in the news headline to start it. So he put it there. So it really fell in the lap of Kev Hassan, which of course he was going to bring it. You know, Kev's position. He's a sedition. So he sees that as something to capitalize on. Now, and this is where the senator screwed up. Was that anything warrant to argue with him for Kev to kind of apologize because Kev said he is to do 20 million or whatever thousand? That was a poor judgment. And this is why these leaders, I have said it over and over. And you guys, you're not listening because you refuse to advise these people you hang up with. These people need consultants. They need advisors. When they go into these international or these outlets, the temperament, they must be contained. They must listen. Not a little thing should trickle them. He jumped into a fight with Kev Hassan. And that's why he began to start asking. And as a matter of fact, he was asking a valid question. That question, we yet to find the answer. When George, when the CDC people, yes, we are asking these questions as well. We have to ask them the same questions. But when people begin to be selective, don't ask my people, okay, like our man Benaya, he's telling us that we shouldn't ask the senator because the senator uses his own money. What do we have? When you didn't even tell us the first truth, when you were even struggling to tell us whether it was you that bought the ticket or your supporters that bought the ticket, how long it took. Look, please, guys, Liberia is a sovereign nation. We need to have serious men and women. I understand no one is infallible, but this is too much. That's how you support your cheer people out, and sooner or later they're done there. So, oh, I didn't know. I thought. You know what? I'm tired with that being I thought. All of these people from the president to the top, and even including ourselves, we have people who sit behind the microphone and use all sort of words, and people cheer them. None of the opposition, the government, nobody is producing any strategic plan as to how they're going to deliver, how to make Liberia better. Tell me the plan. What has been the plan of even the opposition that is looking for state power for which they can argue against the ruling establishment? It's not there. Everybody going helter skelter, doing their own thing because of some political glorification. That's what they're doing. And you need to tell these people here, we got to be honest. Look, that country is being so hurt by the deceit of these politicians. I think the time has come that we can't give them pass no longer. If you want to, if you want to be authentic, be authentic. Don't be in two places at the same time. Kev Hassan, I don't agree with him on some of the things, but he did ask a valid question. And none of the lawmakers has come us to tell us during their package whether that money was put in there, whether they even went to their own constituencies and told the people, I will be getting 15K, I will be getting 30K. What can we do? No one can tell me here that any of them ever raised their finger and had a sort of meeting with their constituency and say, this is what we want to do. That's why you see some people say the painting school, some people say the deacon well. What is your agenda for the 6 year, for the 9 year? How you want to attain these things? They don't see it. They come and talk and yell like a little chihuahua, and people cheer them or their supporters and think it's a serious thing. That's why people don't take us serious. I'm sorry to say. CDC, opposition, all of them on the same path. I see no difference. And that's where get us into this mess.
Mr. So,
yes.
I hate to bust your bubble.
Go right ahead.
But these people, you have no voting right, first thing. Let me just tell you right now, you can't go to Liberia and vote on anything right now. Number one.
Why?
Hold on. None of you can do that. Second thing, none of us can go to Liberia. Hold on. And second thing.
Why were you?
Second thing.
I can't vote in Liberia. How do you know that I can't vote in Liberia?
Okay, let me finish. When last you live in Liberia?
DC, on your part to tell me that I can't vote in Liberia?
No. But when last you live in Liberia? What the Constitution say? How can you vote in Liberia when you don't even live there? So that's muted. But besides that, Mr. So, these people ran on platform. These people ran on ideas, whether they spend money or what have you, and they were elected, whether you agree with them or not. My point is, these are our leaders. We can't talk to them like you just did. This is embarrassing. We cannot talk to them like that. These are human beings, first of all. These are our brothers and sisters, second. Third, they are our leaders. We have to respect the office what they're holding, the office that they're in, and they themselves must be respected as well. Look what we've been on here now going to almost an hour. Yeah. What have we talked about? It's the lie issue and the conversation based on lie. Do you know, besides the issue between Kiasa and Dallas Dillon yesterday, there were other numerous issues. Dallas Dillon enumerated so many projects that he has put forward. Nobody's talking about that. Why? Because he took himself to go to Spoon, and then Spoon turned that around to be some sort of a issue between him and Key Hassan. This is not politics. These platforms should not be used as a political debate issue, who gets what and what have you. You should use these platforms to educate the voters. Now, I don't blame anybody. If Honorable Dallas Dillon were to come to LPR and sit on this platform, he will not get that kind of insult. He will not get that kind of treatment. You will be fair. You will ask him some tough questions. It will be respectful. You're not going to have me or have even a good professor. As much as CDA as he is, he will not come out here in public on this platform and say something like, you have lied. He won't do that. If anything else, you, Mr. So, will tell the professor immediately, we have to make sure this is our guest. Because when somebody comes to your platform, he's your guest. You have to respect that person. And this is what was lacking yesterday with Spoon. And my main thing here is, they are not Spoon and his people. They are not Johnny Come Lately. These are highly educated people. And in order for you to be educated, you must be able to connect your culture and whatever it is that you think your education required of you. You can't sugarcoat it. That's not what I'm asking. But if we're going to say that we're going to practice what is in the West, then what's happening to our own culture? Can you stay in public, in Toll Town, in public, and tell somebody, or the parliament chief, or the town chief, or the chief to say, you lie? You can't do that, Mr. So.
Let me come in. Let me come in. Look, you see, Mr. Toll. You see, Mr. Toll, I think the person you should blame for what transpired yesterday is the senator himself. You will note I have come on this show several times and people have tried to ask me questions that I didn't feel comfortable answering, and I answered them in the most appropriate way possible. Senator Dillon took a trip to the United States. According to what he provided yesterday, he accomplished a lot. If I was in his position invited to that show yesterday, I would have used every question asked me to explain and detail what I did in the US. And guess what? If he had taken the lead in doing that, then he wouldn't have gone through what he went through. For example, the first question coming to him, he should have at some point said, look, but this is not what this should be about. It should be about my visit to the United States and what I accomplished there. So let me share with you guys what I accomplished. And then he will enumerate it. And every time they try to bring it back to that, then he will say, look, I've already stated what I was supposed to say. I did wrong. I own up to it. But let's move on. Because right now in Liberia, the people are dying. We need to attend to the people's problem. He's not sophisticated enough to do that. So you can't hold responsible for that.
No, Professor Zawo.
Yeah.
Yesterday night, and the week I said it, I said, keep as long we get on Senator Dillon's skin. So I said, Senator Dillon was playing when he came on our show how to deflect the questions because that's why it was all set up for. And what Mr. Toy and myself always saying, these people they don't have anybody to advise them because
we want to do. They give ill advice.
The moment I gave that opening statement to say to the Liberian people, I am sorry, I regret my action, and I think I will do better.
Yeah.
And I urge everybody to another move on. Close. So, every other question is, I met this person, the Liberian people are dying. This is why I'm here to talk about.
Look.
But again, these people think they know everything.
I don't think they don't think they know everything.
Yeah. You know, I see my
the Liberal progressive, I beg you, don't kill me tonight, but I don't think they don't think they know everything.
Senator Dillon and Porto, they have taken all the energy from the COVID-19 on three of them.
Yeah.
That's what they have done. Because the whole week is about, it was about Senator Dillon, Eugene Nangbe, and Porto.
Yeah.
No show was emphasizing on the COVID-19 that's in Liberia, how they can fight it. And there's a people not just being honest to the people that the profess that they're ruling. Because if they knew exactly they have the people interest at hand, what they did, they should not even done it. And if they did it, they should have just issued one statement. I'm sorry for my action, and I think I'll do better, and let's move on. But go to explain all these things.
You know what? We were beat on there. I don't care. Liberal can watch the screen here. Go up. It is what it is. And that's what the professor said. These politicians, they have temperament issue. Yeah, and it people that put them there, it becomes disrespectful to the people. All right? It was announced, not that he was not hijacked to go on the program. They need to control, they need to have that skill, they need to have people to guide them, but they don't. They just feel they can do it by themselves. Why you think lawyers have lawyers? Why you think when somebody is a doctor, they have another doctor? There are certain things you have to do. And don't interrupt me. I'm talking right now. I know you want to come. And that's how you can defend your practice in there. The same thing CDC do, we talk to them. The same thing your opposition do, we will have to talk to you. And let me just tell you, and this is what I have issue with. Like all of our contributors, even if I'm angry here, the contributors, they have equal right. If I bring any guest, I will not even, you can be George Weah, you can't respect my guest. And I've seen that happening several times. You can't do that to your colleagues. It is unprofessional. And Senator Darius Dillon has been in a habit. And you people that support him, you need to call him. There are two things. If where his stand on doesn't want Kev on that program, you kick him out. Simple as it is. If I don't need Professor Zabloya, you gone. But you can't have a person there. He knows very well he's going to be on the program. Then he said when he asked questions, I will not answer him. He did ask a valid question, and the professor just went to that point. If I was Senator Darius Dillon, that question came back. He started on the good pace. What prompted him to go back to tell Keith to whether to apologize? It's all about ego. It's power struggle right there. You are senator. Kev is just a contributor. Why would you want to get into a power struggle when you knew very well you came to this place here for the purpose and you did not tell us? You lied to us. It is what it is. You did not tell us. What you told us was not proving. You accused front page. If George Weah and Samuel Tua, all of those people that did that, we would tell them they lied to us.
Look, Mr. So, I hate to interrupt
They will say that we're insulting them.
Mr. So, let me just tell you guys this here. Let me tell all of you, Mr. Joyce, the professor, and Mr. So. Like I said, I'm here as a counterweight, and you guys will not provoke me to say things that I'm not supposed to say. I am old enough. I know myself. Now, what I'm getting ready to tell you, and you, Mr. So, and you, Mr. Professor, and a little bit, no, not Mr. Joyce, because he has not taken that position. I think both of you, including the spoon, I will accuse you guys of being intellectually dishonest, to be honest with you. Because why am I saying this? You guys are very much intellectual. That's no question about it. I mean, your education level is nowhere.
Yourself.
Yes, no, Mr. So, this is what you do. This is what you do, and the liberal comes out and come after you, and then you start complaining. But this is what I'm going to tell. Why am I saying this to you too? Both of you are quite aware of the politician behaviors in Liberia.
I am not
that they are limited, to be honest with you, in this type of profession, and they're not getting people to advise them. You know it. You know exactly. So therefore, you bring them into public, hoping that whatever question will provoke that, whatever it is you want, because you want ready. That is the intellectual dishonesty at the highest level, because you know these people ability to be provoked quickly, and as Mr. Professor was trying to explain here, knowing full well that Honorable Dallas Dillon were not going to do that. So why will you allow that to happen? Why would Spoon not use that opportunity yesterday to get out of the professor out of Senator Dillon? What are some of the things he's doing, and what is he doing to benefit the people of Maserati County? But yet they decide to go let Key Hassan have a CDC talking point and all that kind of stuff. This is ridiculous. And this is exactly what you do at counter.
Mr. Tool, let me tell Mr. Tool something. Look, yesterday was a planned event for Senator Dillon. The stage was set for him to come and score points. What happened was that Kev Hassan surprised them. It was a volunteer given to him to use the platform to be able to win back some of the supporters he may have lost. But here was the thing. Kev surprised them. Look, I don't know how Kev Hassan got in our group, and I don't want to get in trouble because I got a lot of people in that group that I respect. I don't know how Kev Hassan got in that group, but clearly he's misplaced. Watch it most of the time when Kev Hassan is making a comment, the rest of the panelists bend their head down. Please. I'm telling you, try and watch it. Now, if you watch and the audience here today, go back and watch all of the show. Most of the time, you either be smiling or bending their head down and not paying attention to the guy. But yesterday, the guy did what? He surprised them. He did his homework. So he delivered the kind of punches that they didn't expect. So they got them confused.
His brother supplied him. His brother treated him. His brother told him, "You can fight on to him."
But yeah, he did like that.
But something also transpired. He just surprised them. Okay, so they didn't know what to do. Now you look at the show. Stanton refers to everybody by their name: Ben, St. Tamolim, Dr. Richardson, Dr. Peabody, and Brother Kev.
What is the indicator, Professor?
Professor, what I expected yesterday, Stanton to do was
to demonstrate that
what he should have taken charge of the program, because he's the moderator. He should have taken charge of the program, because once you see that going, you have to call the people. Hey, hold on there, Honorable Senator, you have to take that how you address it. This young man and Mr. Man, you have to take that how you address Mr. Senator.
Mr. George, he plays football, right? You go and play a game, and you play against a team that you are expected to beat. And by the time they send on the ball, the team score the first goal on you. Even if you are the best team, you get confused. So as soon as the people serve the meal, right? Kev Hassan went in the middle of the meal, he started eating.
What happened was, let me go to the caller here. Let me go to the caller and I will come back to my point. I 503-8164. Are you there?
So, Mr. So, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Hussein Barney, calling from Pennsylvania. My question goes directly to Mr. Brown in studio there with you. As a young man, I just want to know, you know, for our society in Liberia, I know like what he was just saying pertaining to like when people say the word lie, it's like an insult or their respect, as he say, because Honorable Dillon, he's a senator. But I disagree with that, in a sense that the same Dillon he talking about today, that he talking about Dillon, by telling Honorable Dillon that he lied, is the disrespect because he's the honorable man today. Dillon is one of the same person that tell even the president of the Republic of Liberia that he lies consistently. So whatever goes around comes around. So if you're disrespecting somebody else or the leader that above you, the president of the Republic of Liberia, what you think we the young people, what you think even the supporters of him, the Dillon man, what you think? What the credence that you think would be say that he is the light? Because first of all, the first thing, he already lied to the people of Liberia. He lied to the people of Monterrey County. So what you think? What we should stand on to say he don't lie to us because he's a senator today? That's my question to you. Thank you.
All right. Okay, I will go to him. He doesn't have answer to that question yet. Let me see it. What's the next number here? 215 number. Are you there?
Yeah, Mr. So.
Yeah, go ahead. What's
good evening to everyone, to all the panelists, the professor, Mr. Thompson, to the progressive, and Pat George. Yes, the comment. And Mr. So, you said, you know, the opposition, there's nobody to be trusted, and they are all the same. I want to disagree. My political leader, Mr. in the comments, was the only political leader who took upon himself and put out a statement when the whole $15,000 saga came about and challenged Senator Dillon and other people to return the money. And he frowned upon them and told them that was not a good thing to do.
Right.
The optics were wrong and all of these different things. He also, you know, was challenged back by Senator Dillon by saying he was ill-advised. Today he was asked, were you ill-advised? He said no. He stood by what he said. He even said today, if speaking the truth and challenging the CPP lawmaker with causing the nomination of the CPP, so be it.
Right.
And I love what he said. So be it. This man is not desperate for power. This man is not doing everything just to want to be president. This man wants to be president. Look, there are very few Liberians who stand for integrity, and Mr. Cummings have been very consistent since 2017 up to now. He has been consistent. He never left the country after he lost the election. He went across the country to thank the people who voted for him. He did a country tour twice, and he's still doing his thing. He contributed $150,000 to the COVID thing. He did it in 2014 with Ebola stuff. Listen, if Liberia won, one of the reasons why most people don't want to support this man is because this man is straightforward.
Okay.
And they think with him, they will not have their way.
Okay. LSB, I'm
Now,
going to be calling you. Somebody calling from China. But go ahead, Tony. When you've done that, we'll call the person. Go ahead quickly. Let's try and make it brief. So
let me close up with this Dillon circumstances. But he put a spin on a situation that was very unnecessary. Unnecessary. Why you have to do what you did? For me, I don't like what Dillon did. I'm a supporter, strong proponent of Dillon. I love him. I love the work he does. But Dillon has let me down 3 times. When he said he would not drive a car over $20,000, he took that car. When he said he would not take money, he took that $6,500. Then another $15,000. You gotta stop. At some point, make a statement, political statement, and stand by it. You refuse the $15,000. It's not auto. It will not cut you off from what you are. You already have a support system based group in America. The mother and the friends of Dillon supporting you. What are you doing these kind of things? That's the reason why I'm very proud of my political leader, Arizona Benedict Comey. If the CPP nomination will cause him, so be it.
Yeah, is it so, Mr. Gay? Yeah, what I'm talking about. Even with all of their collaboration, everybody's still doing their own thing. You can't even come together to solidify your political strength. That's okay. Please,
yeah,
I've been asking. I really want to host your political leader here. But other years, you have your own way of doing things. You want to go where you're going to
No. Listen, I made you have one-on-one interview with my political leader before. You can't say all of y'all.
Oh, my man.
When you want that to happen, I can make that happen again. I made you to have a one-on-one with him.
Room.
You had a one-on-one with him.
Okay, I'm talking to other folks. If you do that, we really appreciate it. In fact, what letter is out there? 2 minutes. I want to talk on policy issue here. I don't want. We are not a political satire. We want to talk on the issues. That's what we want to do. Okay.
And he's willing to come on every platform. So here's the thing. Here's what I have to say. A collaboration is not a merger. It's not a coalition. It's a collaboration. That means people still operate independently, although they come together to collaborate on issues.
This is the bizarre thing about this whole thing. You don't even trust one another. So then you say you're collaborating as a result. You will not even merge. These are the tech. Okay, let me ask you. You get a technical team. You know what? Let lead that topic. Let me go to the other guy and go to this guy there quick. Thank you so much, Tony. I know you can't say your man Cummins. I hope if I have Honorable Cummins here, we appreciate that. Okay, thank you so much. Let me go to 774 number. Let's make it succinct. So I will go back to the guy. 774 number 6766111. Are you there, caller?
Yes, sir. This is Dwalu. How you guys doing in
Dwalu.
the studio there?
Number, how you doing,
Not too bad. Professor, it was a pleasure speaking to you last, a couple of days ago. We made up, and now I got to know who the professor is. But let me get to the point very quickly.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I will say this unequivocally. I'm an unrepentant supporter of Senator Darius Dillon's ideals for institutional governance and the rule of law in Liberia. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. He made a terrible mistake. If you are asking the country to believe in you, you cannot make those kind of simple mistakes. It's something I learned a long time ago. Do not give more evidence than is required to make your point. Senator Dillon put his own legs in his own mouth. But let's just say this. Because of Senator Dillon, we are having higher expectations of our leadership in Liberia. It is gradual. Now, I don't want Senator Dillon, constantly, apologizing for little things. He has to understand, make calculative moves. He has to put people in his office that come and advise him on crucial issues. But let's not make this a big deal, because here's the thing. He did nothing illegal, although what he did was wrong as a public servant, and I agree with the professor on that issue. I'm going to say this repeatedly. He did nothing illegal, but I, for once, am a little disappointed in the senator because the way he behaved. There is no point in you making these simple errors when it doesn't have to be made. They are false errors. You can't do those things. But we are talking about holding our government officials to a higher deal because of Senator Dillon. And this is a good thing for the country. My biggest claim now to the professor and the likes of him, they have to understand one thing. Hold the seditions and the government official currently in government to the same standards that you hold Senator Dillon. If you start doing that, we will elevate you equally, because Liberia is better and bigger than any one of those individuals. You have to say that. Far bigger than President we are, even though some of you guys don't believe it. But it will be here long after he's gone. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, let me go to this last caller here, 70. Two more here. Please make it brief before I go back to my contributors. 612 number 0329. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hello. How you doing, Mr. So?
612-0329. Are you there?
Yes. How you doing, Mr. So?
Great. What's your name and where you calling from?
I'm Thomas Williams calling from Minnesota.
Mr. Williams, welcome. I believe you are
Thank
listening.
You very much.
I believe you are listening a little bit. What are
we
going on?
Thank you.
What's your side of the story?
Yeah, thank you very much. My attention has been drawn to the discussion concerning Spoon Talk yesterday. Mr. So, if you ever think that yesterday's show was a chaos, I wish you would have listened to the show when you did not wait.
I listened. So
it was a disaster, and it is about time people draw the line between professionalism and friendship. The journalism profession, it's not a friendship thing, especially when it comes to the discussion of Liberia.
Right.
How can they Liberia better? For so long, Liberia has been a very sad country. It is about time that everybody exhibit high level of professionalism to see how best our country can move forward. You don't mix professionalism with friendship. If we are discussing Liberia should be discussed with sincerity and honesty. You understand? You see how you moderate your show? You are very professional person. Everybody has some level of attachment. There's nobody who is independent or political party. It's very difficult. You understand? But when it comes to the profession, when it comes to your profession and a piece of work to do, you have to do it correctly. You have to do it dedicated. Look at how you moderate your show. You understand? It gives listener the time to analyze and to see. That's what they call professionalism, exhibiting high level of professionalism. But look at Spunta today. You have one commissioner drunk, drank a lot of wine.
Oh, how you know now? You see, you just say talk about how you know you
no, yes, seriously. Because you do not they asking him question. What is this? And he there attacking too many judges. And although the contributor
and let me tell you that too, my brother. We have to talk so and talk so. And I am saying that my contributors here, right? When we have a guest, it's different when we are discussing among ourselves. But when we have a guest, the guy in the black white with the blue side there, the Liberty Party man. He say Liberty Party USA. The man down here, the professor, he's a top sedition. My man Emon Joy, the man that no man land. You go on this side, you don't do it right, he blow you. So what we do here, when we bring a guest here, I will bring them in for maybe 10, 15 minutes. From there, I take them out because they're going to be taken side. They will always have a post discussions of the analyst because everybody want to take position to defend themselves. But I think Timberland too, he didn't do himself well because it was not his goal to go into fight with what his name. He needs information to get out there to the public. So Eugene, Minister Nangbe or Commissioner Nangbe too managed to twist the wheel around to say to hold him as a state witness to say, hey, you went to George, we are playing. You know this, you know that. You know how long they took on that. But not a point here tonight. But you know, they just got to be like watchful. We value
thank you very much. There should be the contributor. There should be a distinction. There should be a clear line between a contributor and a guest.
Right.
You understand? Yeah, the guest should be protected. You cannot make your guest to be vulnerable. That's why most of these people, some credible people, are very afraid to be a guest on some of the platform.
No,
it makes it difficult to bring people on the platform because if you brought your guest on a platform where he or she would be disrespected uncontrollably, you know, other people feel afraid to be disrespected in a same form and manner. Thank you for affording me the opportunity, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, 701 number to go ahead quickly, and I'll go back to my guests, to my group.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Mr. So. This is Teddy Tail Lion Yankon. I'm calling from Fargo, North Dakota.
Mr. Lion.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Well, you know, one thing I would like to let you to know is that we, the Liberians, we are studying the various platforms to know which one is more credible and mature to conduct comes 2023 elections. As I learned a few weeks ago, Spoon TV was suggesting that they could be the most credible one to conduct the elections, but I don't think so. Even though Spoon TV did very well yesterday by giving Mr. Kev Hassan the chance to check Darius Dillon, the notorious senators who always use chicaneries to come to power. He used these tricks. The Liberian people alluded to that, and these are the aftermath of what he did. And he keeps lying to the people. He tried to repair his wounds yesterday, but because the way he has exposed himself, where how you call it, Africa, front page Africa was forced to, go against what he did because of the Liberian people. A senator cannot come to power and keep tricking the people, and we be listening to that. But I can applaud you, Mr. So, and you need to check yourself and other more, because I think your platform might be the most credible and mature platform to even conduct our elections. but you need to add more. Do more on that. But what I'm saying is that Mr. Darius Dillon is not a senator for people to be feeling sorry for. You know, and then where I feel that
why
you fall a little bit short on that.
Oh, you say sorry for why?
Why
you use the word sorry?
It's because like you saying that, oh, why he never been protected this way, this that. So long they never really insulted him or do anything wrong to him, that's fine. But if the center have have lied to Liberian people many times, and to use that one lie maybe is the most stronger word of some Malaysians. So and you're saying that, oh, you're kind of a little bit picked why the way he was treated. He himself exposed himself before appearing on that platform, where from Pitch Africa was forced to come out to hold his feet to the fire. So that like people have them, it's high time people that in our society that are being unscrupulous, it's high time to really take them up that way. Right. Because we are trying to revitalize the society. Every the president we have, people have been accusing the president of being corrupt, or doing this, that.
Tell us something, Mr. Lyon. Tell us something quickly.
Yes. Nobody has ever proven that this president has ever stolen from the Liberian people. We know in the past when people take money, there can be no projects going on. But this president, multiple of projects is going on.
Okay.
The president continues to lobby for the Liberian people to solve the problem, despite him strangulating, operating with oppositions who refuse to be, cohesive. There's no coherence from the opposition side.
I gotta go. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Let me go back to my guys here. All right, gentlemen, are you there?
Yeah.
Who the other person? We have to have a discussion. So, it was unfortunate. Again, I think these politicians, for those of you that a good side, but honestly, they have to, communication. To communicate with people is difficult. First of all, you don't need to give me because I don't care. You're from Total, I'm from BI, right? Next door. So, and I'm from under the cotton tree. You from on the rock. So let's see what is what. I'm just doing you a favor.
When ready to build the bridge that go to ground there will be a specific information in there, a specific provision. You got to pass through Africa to come to BI. You're not going to cross my bridge.
He is calling from the People's Republic of China. Ellis, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Okay. How are you?
Yes, Sarah. Other folks were on the line, so I couldn't just merge it because you are calling. Okay, I know to be awake at this time here, that's something worth telling the story. What is happening? What's going on?
No, thank you very much. I think you guys are discussing issues that relate to the Republic of Liberia that is interesting to all of us. And to let you know that Dillon is my kinsman. He's big.
Are you there, Alice? Oh my goodness. Man, what's up? Alice, are you there? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, hello, are you getting me?
Yeah, go ahead. You went off a little bit. Yeah, go ahead. Dillon is
that's the network. And but the matter of fact, he's a big brother. He's somebody that contributed to me personally. Even when I was in 12th grade, he paid my school fees or paid my wife and all of that. But I got disappointed when I heard that they don't lie. I got disappointed when he emitted on Kings FM. You imagine the time Kings FM hosts not Kings FM but Spoon TV hosts a show in Liberia. Is the late night or early morning hour here. You have to be up waiting to hear what will be the long response on Tuesday night. Only to hear that he lied to the Liberian people. That disappointed all of us who thought that to make a change, don't have to start with a generation. It can start with an individual, and change can be made.
So let me ask you, you thought that the story by Front Page was just meant to demonize him or what?
I thought that even the story from Front Page was something that was paid for. I thought that Front Page was not even doing well. I thought that Front Page was somebody that for any reason they got me aboard Front Page. That would be my thought.
Really?
So, I'm saying honestly.
So is there a change? Is there a change in mind now towards Front Page?
Front Page came up with a defensive and said they were ready to defend their story to the letter, and they stood by the story. I started getting a little bit chattering up, but later on, I thought that Dillon should speak up. Let me hear his defensive politically, how he would intellectualize the entire thing, and how he would navigate his way through to be free out of it. When he admitted that he had made all of us shame, it discourages some of us who thought to imitate him, thought to learn from him, thought even in our organization we should behave like him. It discourages all of us. And I think that's the least lie that anybody could say. That's the least lie.
Okay.
That's the least anybody could say. But what I think is that on a very serious note, bigger lies may have been hating. And that's a smaller one that have exposed him.
Okay. All
Something
right.
big coming from TC Group office, Charles Taylor Town, coming to Joao Taylor office, coming to Edwin Snow office, coming to where he is now as a senator, coming to Robert Sullivan, all of that. There might be bigger things that they don't have lie about. That may have been hated by the Liberian people, and this smaller one have exposed him. And I think one thing that I show up again is that Mr. So if I leave your line is association. Dillon association with a dishonest personality may I let him to
so
where he
Alex,
is.
let me just ask you now, are you Sonny, you're a supporter, you want to imitate him now? Other free thinkers out there like myself will say, wait a minute, is this guy, is he a real supporter of Dillon, or is he for the ruling?
No, listen, Mr. So. Mr. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. So, are you there?
Listen, yeah.
Dillon lives Bannersville Estate. Ask Dillon 2009 when Hannah Brent died in Maserati County. Senator Hannah Brent
I've been
died.
to a house. I conducted an interview to a house, Bannerville Estate. There, I know that.
Yes, I think I eat Dillon Gurish in Bannersville. I was in February, Dillon Gurish. They don't pay my YFP and pay my school fees. So they are all that to Dillon. I'm a real supporter of Dillon. I'm one person who supported the Liberty Party when I was in February 2009 because of Dillon.
Okay.
I'm not making up. Dillon knows me. He knows my picture. He knows my number. He knows me. I'm saying I got disappointed. I got hurt when I heard from Dillon that he has lied to the Liberian people and he apologized. Because I one person that the difference between Dillon and myself in terms of argument is that I'm more emotional in my political argument as compared to Dillon. He feels more relaxed and discuss it. And I tried by all means to see how best I can catch up with him.
Okay.
Coming back to say with all integrity tests that we think that Dillon is better than all other politicians in Liberia. Only Liberty Party Senator Jonathan Cape, all of that fit to the fire as it relates to the Cabinet Janet case. Coming back and say Councillor Brunson are treating them with every other thing, but the thing he took from Councillor Brunson is integrity. And come back to integrity questioning like what it is now in the public, it disappointed me a lot.
All right. Thank you so much.
Sometimes just talk by yourself and get crazy. That's what's happening to some of us.
All right, don't carry your pressure on network. We ain't get insurance for that, my man. Thank you so much. Let me go to this other person. 508, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, go ahead quickly so I will go back to my guys.
Mr. So.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you so much for the show. My brother, let me say something. What more the Liberian people want for Dillon to say? The last caller is not realistic. I don't care what other may say. Alfonso, you guys that are in studio, do we know how many times our Creator, Jesus Christ or God, forgave us?
Look, I'm not a religious man.
God was saying, you know what happened today? I'm tired with you guys begging, apologizing. When Jesus asked the question, says, which one of you have ever not seen? You should be the first to throw the stone. This man, this Dillon man, Alfonso, He came up publicly and said, gentlemen, the Liberian people have made a big blunder. I'm sorry. I see my mother. What else they want for the men to do? They don't can decide to say, no, you know what happened? I'm going back the usual way. I will go be like the other politicians. Why they can't go be talking to Joshua? Why frankly, you Alfonso instituted them, my brother. All right? The auditors are dying in our country. Where are the journalists? They can dig on the other stories. The 3 missing kids that got missing. What came from all of that? The man that fell from upstairs that said he died. He threw himself down. What came from all of those things? What came from the Taylor U.S. case? For District 15, when she was whipped, and they said they were investigating. What came from the labor that was shot? That police spokesman went and lied. He said no policeman shot the guy. What came from all of those things, my brother? Why today? This man made a mistake. He kept apologizing. He said, look, my people, I made a big blunder. I am sorry. When last any government official from CDC have ever come on any kind of public platform? Look today, look at the kind of lie that Eugene Nambo were doing today on Spoon FM. And Spoon is a disappointment. CEO, he's a great disappointment. I must admit. Apostle, look at when Spoon, when Stanton Livingstone, when they were interviewing or Dallas Zeno yesterday, compare that with today. Every one of them shut up. Why in that kind of poverty-stricken country, a man sitting down on social media bragging that he said he riding $60,000 US car? The Spoon CEO sitting down there, he was mute. He couldn't say anything. Nobody could hold Eugene on the stand and say, my man, you're pro-po. It's that kind of waste, lavish life, but one man to the every day. You go on social media day long. You cancel day long. You cancel day long. Say President, we came back. The delegation that came to the United States, how many journalists have gone to interview those guys that came from the state to say, what is your bro? What was the reason your win? You taxpayer money in your win. What your bro from the trip? Nobody. Joshua carried all the people in France. He came back. Which one of the journalists that ever asked? Nobody. I'm so disappointed in some of the callers. I'm so disappointed in. Thank you so much, Mr. So. Let it don't be.
All right, don't let your pressure go off.
No, man, it's too much, man. It's too much.
Let me go to the guy. Okay, gentlemen, I got a whole file with the number, and I'm going to make you to be an exhibition here. Okay, let's have a conversation here. Professor?
Yeah.
The liberal Per George. It seems that there's going to be a little bit stigma on it, and I don't know why people are kind of like flipping up, because this is normal within our politics. When politicians, when you come from the opposition, when you come from the ruling establishment, usually the supporters capitalize on that to make a good argument. But what is not happening is people still don't have that. What should I say? And then when you begin to give some sort of little justification, mistake is just a mistake. When it is wrong, just say it's wrong and try to change the narrative. But when you try to fight back, that's where the problem comes from. So, Per George, before I go to the liberal,
yes,
how can this dust be settled?
Oh no, the dust is settled already. These people who coming and saying that he didn't do anything wrong. The question is, the senators are grown-up men. If by all he said that he had not done anything wrong, why would he come to apologize? It's just simple. That's not nature.
Okay, yeah, and why I'm asking the justification here is, okay, CDC do it this way, CDC
no,
do it. I don't like that sort of vicious cycle here, because I want the country to be changed. Yeah. So the idea of you did it wrong, so I can do it wrong and get away with it, it doesn't make sense to me. That's the key point I'm hearing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So this is why sometimes many of us got issue or difficulty responding to some of these people, because most of them they only want us to talk this on the side that they don't favor. When they come to CDC, we should make all the noise, but when it comes to them, then we should not make no noise, and that is not being honest. If we say we want to build a society that will hold everybody accountable, transparent, a vibrant society, then of course we should not look at somebody different again. We should put everybody on the same pedestal. So they cannot tell what yardstick to use to talk about issues when Senator Dillon make a mistake, and tell us what kind of yardstick to use when CDC make a mistake. No, we are saying that we want to build a society that everybody will be accountable, equal under the law. So if we have to build that system, then of course we have to look in the eyes of those that will support our brothers and say, look, what you did, it was wrong. And you must apologize and take full responsibility of it.
So the million dollar question here, and now maybe the liberal and professor are going to argue. Can he, Senator Dillon, goes back to his playbook to call his colleagues spineless, they are this, they are that? Because that word I had a problem with. I don't think that was a good description that he was giving. It won't serve him good. They were going to fight back. They're going to see that, okay, this guy is trying to be something, and I don't see it as a way to navigate to the House of Parliament, because you don't want to stay there 9 years, because it's all about consensus building. You have to figure out a way how you can talk to Sir Joseph, talk to this other person from this party, and put your agenda, things that you want to be changed, so that it will go. Because at the end of the day, it's the vote. But when you create a sort of havoc situation in the place, you find it very difficult. You will talk, people will hear you, but there is no mark for which people are going to say that you will be remembered. And that's what some of the things we are saying. The liberal, I think he's finding it very difficult to understand me. The liberal, am I sounding insane?
your analysis. It's your analysis. Those are your views. I accept it. But I'm not on board with you. Look, Mr. So, what has happened here and what is happening is much, much more dangerous for us as a society than it is for the politicians themselves.
Who's making it dangerous?
Now, if we're going to be having a major election in 2 to 3 years, the most.
So who's making it dangerous?
We ourselves, the citizenry.
The citizenry?
Because we not only want to hold these people to a higher standard, but we want to choose who we want to hold to a higher standard. And if it's in our favor, we don't want to make comments. What is happening with Senator Dillon, it could be a very good teachable moment for all of us if we want to be sincere about it. But sedition politician would do this kinds of stuff, and you will not hear people
the same thing.
You will not hear anybody say something about it. Now, my concern here is this. We're going to have a major election here very shortly, in 2 to 3 years. Do we have the capacity to have an election, CDC running for second term, presidential election, and they get dislodged by another political party? Do you see sedition accepting that? One thing. And those of us that have this platform, we're supposed to use this opportunity to educate our brothers and sisters, to let them know that these people, we don't agree with these politicians, whatever size it is, but we are not enemy. You can come on my show. I will send tough questions to you. But at the end, I will still respect, so that my father or your father or the opposition will not use that opportunity to attack the man. Because if I'm having conversation with a politician who is from CDC, and I keep making reference to him, sir, and I'm asking questions, tough questions, but respectful, and continue to remind my audience that when it's your time to ask questions, we will not tolerate anybody coming in here to insult. There are Liberians, many Liberians who have serious questions about what is happening in the country. But they cannot come to this platform if people are insulting each other. You got Senator Dillon in a position who then going to have to now stand up to be defensive. And as he put in that position to be defensive, he's no longer able to respond to any kinds of intellectual question pertaining to what it is that he's doing.
But you said that.
The one now?
He put himself in that position.
You are sounding so ridiculous, and that's
He put himself in that position yesterday.
You have to say
the one now?
He put himself in that position yesterday.
Well, I'm not going to. That's the point that I'm making.
Why you don't want to go
keep making. I'm not going to say who put him in what position. This is what I mean. For example, I know the politician of Liberia, and I've seen Koluba respond to tough question or question from opposition. He's very dismissive. I've seen Senator Dillon. Listen to Mr. Nabwe yesterday. All of these politicians, when they come to a show, as soon as somebody asks question that perhaps they think is from the opposition, they become dismissive and they become disrespectful. I'm not going to use that opportunity to incite the audience, to incite the situation or to inflame the situation where we will no longer have conversation. If I have a sedition people or somebody from CDC sitting on my platform asking, having a conversation, I'm not going to put myself in that. I will not be intellectually dishonest. I will ask tough questions, but I'm not going to provoke the person. No, I'm not going to allow somebody to provoke them either. Because I know they don't have the ability to compartmentalize. Okay. They don't have the ability to say, okay, this one is not for me right now. I'm here to talk about certain things and keep, like Professor suggested, keep pushing that line. They allow themselves to be removed from with a talking point, and then fall into that trap. Okay. Knowing fully well these people who are going to be put in that trap, they themselves are quite aware of what you think. Kia sounds stupid. Kia is an educated person, very smart person, but he wants to bring these people down to the level that they will no longer be respected. And it's going to hurt us. It's going to hurt us when the election time comes. Believe it or not, Senator Dillon have followers. And if you try to put him in a position where he will be defensive, his follower will also be defensive because he's like the head. But if Senator Dillon was to be quiet, is to be receptive yesterday, I think everything else would have fallen in place.
No, stop saying you've been very dishonest. You're not even helping Dillon. That's not how you fix problem. You salad dressing issue here tonight. And that is so ridiculous on your part. That's a complete partisan line you are taking here. All right? When a man is wrong, he should take that responsibility. I'm wrong. Why would
what did he do yesterday? Did he dance, Mr. Soul? Did he dance? He took responsibility. Senator Dillon took responsibility of his action yesterday. And he said, I take full responsibility. Now, he didn't come to the show trying to be defensive. When your people and your undercover sedition came out and came to him as though he's no human being, he's going to have to be defensive. He's a human being. He's not only a senator, but he's a human being. Forget about what he has done. He has taken responsibility, and that's why you guys need to take and forget this subject. Let's go on something else. But no, you will continue to push this line over and over, and it's not going to help. It's not going to help because we will not accept you. So steamroll up. We are Liberian just like you. We care for Liberia just like you. You can't steamroll up because you think, our senator made a mistake. He made a mistake and he owned up to it. What do you want me to say? Kill cow? I'm not going to kill a chicken because Senator Dillon made a mistake. He said he took responsibility, and you people want us to sit here and cry. We're not going to do that. We will continue to tell you that he already taken responsibility. Forget it. I'm not here to apologize. I'm not here to take any kind of Senator Dillon has done that. Now, if you guys don't, the tiny sedition, yes, I say so. If you guys don't see the senator being a light, you want to come here and try to degrade him, we will defend him. And I'm ready.
Let me come in. Look, guys.
This is sad. It's terrible.
Professor,
you're going to come in, Professor, please.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad for our country. Mm-hmm. We have people are defending the indefensible. If Ben Savvy was to call here tonight, he would not go in line with you. First of all, we understand the young man has no business to jump into a struggle. I am right, Keith, you are wrong. This is where it boils down to. And that's where the political temperament, maturity comes in. You are a sitting senator to go on a radio show And you are telling us yet we should use
your voice is going away because you're not in a good position. You stand no chance. Your standing is low, and that's why your mic is dying on you, Mr.
Let me come in. Look, let me see this from the perspective of a citizen. Look, for us at the CDC, I think what is most important is what the Liberian people need us to do. And I think that's what the party is focused on right now. The party and citizens and other ordinary Liberians saw what was clearly a lie, and they call it for what it is, a lie, and we've moved on. I think what we are focused on right now is to see how we can accomplish what we indicated the Liberian people would do. As building more schools, equipping our hospitals, building roads, improving the livelihood and living conditions of ordinary Liberians. Look, Senator Dillon will be Senator Dillon. Senator Dillon is a product of our very complex society. But we feel our young people. We feel to provide the educational establishment that will prepare them for very important roles in the future. And then when they come into those positions, we expect them to perform at a level that they have never been trained to perform. Mr. Toole, you agree with me clearly that Mr. Dillon, had he been very much sophisticated, he would have dodged the commentary or the comments and questions from Tef Hassan, and he would have made a maximum use of an opportunity given to him by Spoon TV. He blew it, and he blew it because he lacks the ability. He lacks the ability to perform at that level. Yeah, he might. I'll be honest with you. I think Dillon has brought another flavor to our Liberian political system. Something he's going to go in history if you remember for. I can't take it from him. But Nicholas, so it's a clear, it's a epitome of the challenges of our society. That's one thing that brings me to politics. To see if we can address those kind of problems so that when our kids are called for, they will be able to perform. Now, if we continue to fail our young people in our society, then we'll get senators like Dillon who will want to do well, but will not be able to do well because he has not been equipped with the skills to perform. And that's exactly what happened to him. You see, when citizens talk about education, I don't think you need to have a PhD, a master's degree to be a senator, but there are certain basic skills you have to have. And obviously, we know that it is lacking when it comes to Senator Dillon, and not just him. So a significant number of the people in our Senate and House of Representatives. Let me just end there, But I just hope that we all can be very honest. For me personally, I indicated on the show that we have evolved. I'll be one of those persons on this show that will call us citizens who will be doing things that are inimical to the interests of our people. Trust me, moving forward, I will do so. I will call up those politicians, those citizens in the House of Representatives that will resort to using profanities as a way of getting the points across. I'll be very critical of those citizens who are in government and flaunting wealth. I'll be very critical of them. I'll be critical when government fails to do what it's supposed to do. And I think we have a responsibility to our people to do so. We got to understand we have one country, and that's Liberia, and Liberia comes before our parties. And that's what we are trying to do here. Thank you.
Okay, let me go to the line here quickly, guys. I'm so sorry for being so patient, please. 347 number 3348. What's your name and where are you calling from?
We can't hear you.
Dennis Kunamwe. I'm calling from the state of New York.
Okay, Mr. Dennis, welcome. Go ahead. I'm sorry for putting you on.
Mr. Namwe, not Dennis.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. First of all, Mr. Toole, let me commend you, for the level of professionalism, in which you organize your show. And to tell you the truth, your show is one of the best, or the best show ever that discuss the issue of our country. I listened to my older brother, Mr. Toole, backing Dillon, saying that the war lie or Hassan use were not appropriate. Dillon issue He lied. And he openly apologized. He openly apologized. Mr. Tool, you claim to be member of the Liberty Party. But the Liberty Party have few elements there that have, integrity issue. To begin with, the current chairman, Musa Benete, have integrity issue. They don't have integrity issue. Even the Spoon Talk Show, Ben Sanvi by right, he shouldn't be on our show by now. Why? Because Ben Sanvi talk a room on a fraudulent means. He said it was a family business. A family business doesn't have an address. You talk a room, then you own a podcast, checking people's character. I mean, we're talking about Liberia. We're talking about. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Tool.
Yeah, these are high charges you are pressing against Chairman Sanvi. Do you have anything to pass?
The clip is there. The clip is there. No. When Eugene Falcon appear on the show, you are attacking Eugene Falcon, and Eugene Falcon raised the issue. He admitted. The first of all, you were trying to deny, but then he said it was a family business, and you were part of the business.
I will bring Chairman Sanvi here, so I will hear from myself. I don't like to circumspect other people.
Chairman Sanvi said
the clip is there. The clip is there, and
what I'm saying, I will try to create an opportunity to have him here. Let me question myself. Let me get to the bottom line. But go ahead, make your point quickly.
Yeah, for every time the show is on, when I make comment that Ben Sanvi should be removed from the show, they will black my comment. For every time I make that comment that he should be removed from the show, they will black my comment. I even told the CEO, I said, CEO, this is America. You are in America, we should do things like the American. Ben Sanvi shouldn't be on the show and be, checking people's character. He has a credibility issue.
Now the whole country. Okay, my man. Thank you so much. Let me go to the next.
You see, so Mr. Tom, Mr. So, thank you for the show and continue to do the good work for the Liberian people. Thank you very much.
I get credibility issue too.
No, your show is the number one.
Okay,
thank you very much.
All right. I'm getting your favor. You say I get credibility.
We can't even hear you, Mr. So. Mr. Joyce, Professor, can you guys hear him?
Yes.
He's slow.
How you doing?
He's slow.
Yeah, Mr. Mr. Brown, Mr. Tool should stop saying Dillon made a mistake. Dillon did not make a mistake. We all know what mistakes are. Dillon did not make a mistake. Dillon deliberately lied. And the thing is, it's not just about this lie. It's a pattern of deception and lies. For example, when Dillon, before he went to the Senate, Dillon swore that he would never drive in a car more than $35,000-$40,000. But when he went there, he started to use a car more than $35,000-$40,000. When his supporters, not even the seditions, when his supporters asked him, he said, listen, you said you're not going to use a car that costs this amount. He said, oh, you know what? The car was, the vehicle was procured for Geraldine Doe, Cherie, and since this vehicle was already here, we couldn't go and get another vehicle. And he gave all kinds of misleading information about the vehicle. Well, should I say that was misleading? Yes. Or should I say Dillon lied? Well, for that one, I can't say Dillon lied, but it was just misleading. The second one, Dillon deliberated about the $15,000. He was part of the discussion. He never went to his supporters to tell them, say, look, we are currently discussing about some kind of $15,000 or $30,000 that is coming up. I don't like it. I'm not in favor of it. I'm not going to sign it, and I'm not happy about it. We as senators, we shouldn't be taking $15,000 to be, to perform duties that the government should be doing. We shouldn't be in the business of building taller houses or building stuff like that. So I'm not in favor. He didn't do it. He signed for the money. He didn't also tell his people that he signed for the money. But when Dillon knew that the money entered his account and he knew that by law he could not return the money, then all of a sudden he said what? I'm gonna return it or I'm gonna return it. Why he didn't tell his people from the beginning when they were discussing about the money? Why he didn't tell them? Then all of a sudden, Shua said that was deception. Yes, that was also deception. Shua said that was lie. I can say that was a lie. But this particular one, Dillon knew very well that he flew the business class. This one was not a deception. It was a blatant lie.
Okay, Flomo,
Okay?
thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Okay, guys, we're going to be wrapping up here very shortly.
Mr. So, you're a little bit low. Your audio is low.
My mic is still low.
Okay.
We can't hear you.
All right. Yeah, I think if you don't even hear me, I think
okay, much better. Much better.
Hey, to your test, something, you know. So
I'm not person. The professor can't hear you, Mr. Judge. But I'm glad they can't hear you because that means your conservative idea and your undercover sedition comment, talking point is not getting through. I'm happy.
Oh my God. Who are undercover? A good to be on, a good to be undercover. But I can tell you, look, we gotta be honest. We gotta be honest. I'm not selective, and we should not be selective. We should always put these people in. It will help them. It will strengthen them. But when you come, this one do it while you're talking so, and this other one here, I don't think it's serves God's purpose. You know, and I'm very much disappointed you here, which is of course it's not.
Jesus Christ.
It's not. That
Can you guys hear him?
Yeah, we can hear a little bit. It's going in and out.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Okay, all right. Samson told us.
Okay.
He has joined in his total time share this evening, so he tempered with my mic. That's okay. Then he's not a grab his card. Okay, gentlemen. So we're gonna be wrapping. Oh yeah, hopefully we're gonna have this sort of conversation again in the next coming days. Yeah, but I think we have had enough conversation. We'll try to pivot into different things. He has come up, and I believe there's a lesson learned. Joyce.
Look, I think it's not time that we move on. I think we have treated this subject enough, and I hope Senator Dillon will learn his lesson from now to move forward. And because there are many things we should have been talking about tonight, but this Senator Dillon last thing just took over our entire thing because I see what is happening at the real life market. The people that moving from that market to the Gorbachev market is a whole routine of our people. So I think that's something we actually we're going to look at today because Professor saying that they try to move forward development, but they build a market that can accommodate 3,000 people, but the people at the real, according to the report, 15,000 people, and there's no plan. Just organize the people at the place there. You put people in the mud. No toilet, and you're going to put somewhere that can occupy, take about 3,000 people, 15,000 people. So I don't know. Professor maybe will help me to explain to me how how they went about that project to organize the market. And for the past week, it's also a TV for anybody who follow that thing. It's just a disaster at the place there. People standing there, the place they put in the people, rain, mud. How can we do that to our people?
All right. I think we're going to find a time for that. So that
yes, but I know I just want to, because Professor mentioned about development and things like that. So I just wanted to chip in a little bit to tell him, hey, the development hold on there. I don't know how they put that market, but it's a horrible thing there for our people.
All right. Okay. All right, guys. 30 seconds. And wrap it up here quickly. Samson To, what's the last word? Samson To.
Yeah.
What's your last word?
Well, thank you. Because you're not quite audible, and so I'm not too sure if I can even hear you. No, but on a very serious note, Mr. So I think this is a wonderful conversation tonight, and I think sedition and all of those who see Senator Dillon apology as being weak, there's nothing anybody can do about that. Senator Dillon has taken full responsibility, so let's move on. And like I said 2 days ago, and before the week is over, CDC and all their officials, somebody are going to put their foot in their mouth. You didn't. We have done that, and I think so. I mean, on false error is and they're not done yet. Before the week is over, there will be another one coming in. But we don't go after them like that. We're hoping that they will see that everybody make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, let's move on. One thing I want to say here, very seriously, I believe CDC and sedition are still in a campaign war from 2017. How else will you have you're in a ruling coalition? You are the leader of the country right now. And what do they do? Amanda Awetu. You know what that is? It's a cry, fighting cry for somebody who has been depressed. Your president, Dr. Where is your president? The CDC is still going, Amanda Awetu, they're still crying. Who they're trying to, who's suppressing them at this time? That's the kinds of mindset they have. Amanda Awetu, it's a cry for people who are being suppressed. Who's suppressing them? They need to clear their mind. They need to emancipate their mind to make sure that their mind is clear. That's CDC for you right there. I can't hear you.
Yeah. Look, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Su, and thank you, Mr. To and Mr. George. Wonderful show. I'm very, very certain that people kind of got another perspective today to this issue than what they saw yesterday on Spoon TV. I just want to say, look, the struggle for the emancipation of the Liberian masses has not ended. So Amanda Awetu, we still got a long way to go. We still got to find. We still got to find a way to make sure
the professor can't give up.
Every town and village has a school, a decent healthcare center. Every city and town is connected by decent roads. We still have to ensure that a Liberian parent, Liberian family must be able to afford a meal for their family every day. Those are challenges that we haven't accomplished yet, and we'll continue to say Amanda Awetu, because this is about, emancipation. It's about transformation of the livelihood of our transformation of the lives of our people. That is something for which President Weah left soccer and decided to put himself into politics to make sure that by the time he leaves power, we'll have moved more people above the poverty line than any other government has done in the history of Liberia. Not only is this government on track, it's far ahead of the pace. And so those are the things that we are concerned about. Mr. So, thank you very much for giving us an opportunity always to come here and to be able to articulate the position of our government, and to also give us the opportunity to criticize our government when they do wrong. And I told people out there, I will be one of the first person who will always be criticizing this government when I see things that they are doing that they're not supposed to be doing, or when they do things, when they ignore things that they are supposed to be doing. I think that's what is going to make our government better and stronger. We will not be sycophants. We're not licking anybody but, and I've never done so before. And I will continue to speak my mind and push for the changes that we need. I thank you very much.
I would suggest, Mr. Soul, that you try to alternate who comes last. From now on, it shouldn't be just Professor coming last. You try to alternate.
Mr. Soul, I beg you, give Mr. Tool 1 minute, I beg you. No.
Oh, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give it all to Jesus. Let him take control. Just sit and worship. I know it hurts you, and I know it's painful. No way to wait, so you have to let it go. Your best friend is not your secret enemies. Let it go. Your wife is getting married.
Okay, folks, that's how we're going to bring the curtain down here this evening. Thank you so much for your time, for your evening, for your morning hour, depending on your location. By God's willing, same time, same network, we will see you in the coming days. A week here, the Liberal will be here tomorrow, I believe, on Friday. This Sunday, I'm going to be hosting Madam Mandela Cooper of the opposition's All Liberian Party. let me see here. Let me make sure the party name here. The party is so plenty in our country. Mandela Cooper is okay. This is Mandela Cooper is the Movement for One Liberia. Movement for One Liberia is a party. She's going to be my guest on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mandela Cooper going to be on Freedom Watch. Okay, thank you so much.
Sunday go to meeting. Mommy can say no, Johnny Ginger. Just let it go.
Hopefully you're going to make time. So we're going to settle this thing once and for all. Sometime to get out of your comfort zone and see how the conversation going to go like.
Let it go. Let it go.